Hello and welcome back to our grade 9 maths lesson. I am Mrs. Rhea, your teacher. Okay, in today's lesson, we are going to look at probabilities. Okay, probabilities. Now, what is a probability? Probability determines the likelihood of an event from occurring, where probability of an event A is equals to the frequency, which is the number of times an event occurs, over n, which is the total number of possible outcomes. Now, let's look at an example. We have an example where we have a coin. Okay, a coin has two sides, the tail and the head. So we know that the total possible outcomes of tossing a coin is 2. The probability of getting a head is only 1 because we have only one side of the coin, or the probability of getting a tail is only 1 over 2. So let's say the probability of getting a head is equals to 1 over the total possible outcomes 2, and that is equal to 0.5, which can be expressed as a percentage, which is 50%. Now, let's look at another example. Let's look at a dice. Okay, if we look at a dice have how many sides? 6. Okay, and each side has only one number. We have numbers from 1 to 6. So the total possible outcomes in a dice would be 6. And the number of each dice is only 1. Let's say the probability of getting a 6. We know that there is only 1 6 out of the total possible outcomes, which is 6. So 1 over 6 is equal to 0.167. Okay, 1666 repeats itself, so that is equal to 16.7%. Now, this is for single probabilities. Let's say we want to get a 3 when we roll a dice. That's 1 over 6. So any probability of getting a single number when a dice is rolled is always 1 over 6. Probability of getting a tail or a head is always 1 over 2. Now, we are going to look at the probability of getting 2 different outcomes. Let's say I roll 2 dice at the same time. So what would be the probability of getting a 6 when I roll both dice? So, because we are going to have 2 different dice, that is written as probability of A and B, where B represents the other dice, and A also represents the other dice because they are 2. So that is written as probability of A times probability of B. Now, we know that the probability of getting a 6 when you roll a dice is 1 over 6 multiplied by the probability of throwing another dice to get a 6. That will also be 1 over 6. So the total possible outcome would be 1 over 36. Okay, so we divide 1 by 36 to change it to a decimal. 1 divided by 36 is 0. We put a decimal point and make this 10. 10 divided by 36, still it cannot. Put down a 0 and make it 100. 100 divided by 36, 2. 2 times 36 is 72. Subtract. This is 9, 10. This is 2, 5. Okay, 2, not 5. We have 2 and 8. Okay, 28. 28 divided by 26, it cannot. put a 0 and we make it 280. Then we multiply 36 by 7, 42, 4, 7 3s are 21 plus 4 is 25. We subtract, cancel out. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 5 is 2. Again, we put 0 and 7. So, 7 repeats itself. Therefore, 1 over 36 as a decimal is equal to 0.0278. Now, as a percentage, that is equal to 2.78%. Okay, so that is a very small percentage when we have independent probabilities. Now, we are going to look at another method where we use again two different events that occur and we calculate the probability of that. Let's say we have to throw a dice and at the same time we toss a coin. This time we are going to put it on a table. So let's say at the top we have the head and the tail, okay? And then we have the numbers for the dice because we have how many? 6 faces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's draw the columns. Oops, our line is not straight. Anyway, we just use this to find the total possible outcomes that we can have when we throw dice, okay? And toss a coin. We want to find out how many total possible outcomes there will be. First one, that's 1 and a head. We have 1 and a tail, 2 and a head. We have 2 and a tail, 3 and a head, 3 and a tail, 4 and a head, 4 and a tail. We have 5 and a head and 5 and a tail. And we have 6 and a head and 6 and a tail. Let's see how many total possible outcomes we will have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, the probability of having a head n, any one number, let's say probability of having a 3 when you throw a dice, that will be equal to probability of head times probability of 3. The total possible outcome there is 12. Probability of head, we have 1 over 2, and probability of 3, we have 1 over 6, and that is equal to 1 over 12. Now, if we look at the table, this is the probability that we have of having a 3 and a head. That will still give us 1 over 12. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So even if we use the table or even if we use the formula, we will still come up with the same probability, which is 1 over 12. Now, we can change this to a decimal and then to a fraction. So how do we do that? Again, like what we have done, we divide 1 by 12. Okay, 1 divided by 12, it cannot put down a 0, put a decimal point and make this 10. 10 divided by 12, it cannot put down a 0 and make this 100. 100 divided by 12 is 8. Okay, 8 times 12 is 96. Then we subtract 10 and 9. 10 minus 6 is 4. Okay, then we add 0 here. And 40 divided by 12, we have 3. 3 times 12 is 36. When we subtract, we have 4. 3 will repeat itself. So 1 over 12 as a decimal is 0.083. And that as a percentage will be equal to 8.3%. Okay, so we can convert this to a percentage after we have calculated the probability of the events. So that brings us to the end of our lesson. In our next lesson, we are going to use the tree diagram to calculate the probability of more than 2 events occurring at the same time.